I kind of just wanted to share a little story with you about my youngest son, Owen. He is now 2.5. And as many of you already know, he was born at home. And he was my second natural birth, and it was an incredible experience. So when Owen was born, and I remember holding him in the bathtub, and I remember just holding him and just adoring him, and then I noticed his ear. I noticed his ear was not fully formed. And of course, all these thoughts went through my mind, like, oh my gosh, like, what did I do while I was pregnant? Like, how did this happen? This is totally my fault. What did I eat? What did I breathe? What did I do wrong during my pregnancy? And I'm sure every mother can relate. It's hard not to blame yourself for a lot of things that happen with our children. And so when I saw that, I felt really sad. First of all, we had to learn what it was. It's called Microtia, and such a small percentage of people actually have this, so I had never heard about it my entire life. But once we figured out the name for it, we did all this research and we learned a lot about it. And it's not usually a very serious thing. Most kids do have hearing out of the ear that, may be underdeveloped. And so Owen luckily does have hearing out of that ear. We had to get tests and we had to do a lot of different things, but his ear is actually closed off. There's no opening to that one ear. And so eventually it's going to require a surgery to open up that ear canal. And with that small ear, he also had an extra growth. It was like this little ball of cartilage. And so the doctor suggested that we had that removed so that it didn't get snagged on anything. Or they wanted to wait till he was a little older to do the surgery. So at about 10 months, we took him in to get the surgery, which was just a very simple procedure to remove that extra cartilage. When he came out of anesthesia, the anesthesiologist came to me and was like, "Did you know that he has a heart murmur?" And I was just like, "No, not at all." And he's like, "Well, you should probably get it checked as soon as possible, take him into a cardiologist and have him tested just to make sure it's nothing serious." So of course I'm freaking out, like, what's a heart murmur? I didn't know anything about a heart murmur. It just sounds serious. There's something wrong with his heart.
Sometimes they just don't close off, and then over time they'll go together and they'll close together. So sometimes it's just very, very simple, benign things.
So we took him in, and he had all these pictures taken of his heart, and the doctor was actually pretty surprised when he saw the results, and he's like, "Has he been turning blue? I'm surprised he's not fainting. This is pretty serious. He has pulmonic stenosis, so one of his heart valves are almost completely blocked, and it's very serious, so you need to get him in for surgery as soon as possible."
So where his problem is with this valve right here, called the pulmonary valve. And it's narrow, and it's restricting blood flow out of the right pumping chamber to the lung artery.
Okay.
And it's in the severe category right now.
And it was like a week before Christmas. And so we scheduled the surgery for for like 2 days later. That was as soon as we could get him in. But of course, those 2 days we were just like, we're panicking. Like, is he okay? Like, and then worrying about the whole surgery process. And so we took him in to get the surgery, and thankfully they didn't have to do open heart surgery. Medicine and technology has come such a long way, and he was able to get the balloon procedure, which basically means they were able to use a catheter through one of his arteries through his leg and go up to his heart and kind of pretty much take a balloon and open up that valve. And so that was a blessing. So thankfully everything went well. They were able to do the procedure with no complications. They said that it was successful. It's not 100% the way it should be, but it is nothing to be concerned about. He can live a normal, healthy life and not have it won't affect him whatsoever. So that is such a blessing. We do have to have him monitored every 6 months to a year, and go in and have his heart tested just to make sure everything is okay. But when I think about his whole story and all the emotions that went into this, you start to understand how it's just bits and pieces of a puzzle. And all the little pieces just started to come together. And of course, we still have, more surgeries to come with his ear, and possibly might have to do the balloon procedure again with his heart. But I'm just so grateful that it was nothing more serious than that. It wasn't a life or death situation. It did cause us a lot of stress and a lot of worry, but I couldn't be more grateful for the way everything turned out. How his ear, having to get that little ball removed, was what helped us catch that pulmonic stenosis before it became serious. And I just feel so blessed and so grateful. I just know that God is really watching out for us and watching out for Owen, and he has a plan for all of us. And I'm really grateful for these experiences. I truly believe that God has a plan for each and every one of us, and he does answer prayers, and he is watching out for us, and he cares about us, and he cares about our children. So that's Owen's story.